2019 Skoda Octavia, part of the Volkswagen Audi group, big corporation. So this is the video how to replace rear brake pads and discs on this car, and it can be applied to many of the products, whether that's Seat, Skoda, VW, anything that has a normal parking brake, non-electronic one. I'll be quick and straight to the point as possible. Raise your car with a jack, support it with stand, don't rely on jack on its own. Make sure you put it in a gear and choke the front wheels, because your handbrake applied normally to the rear wheels, so car doesn't roll anywhere. You just make sure your front doesn't roll anywhere, and remove the wheel. And this is one of the most common setups. If your brake caliper and discs look like that, then this video can be applied to you. Now we need two spanners, 13 and 15 millimeters. 13 millimeter, two bolts here. So what you do, you undo them. They can sit a little tight first. Once they start turning, as you can see, they turn with this nut. So we use 15 millimeter spanner to counter hold. That's it. Now we can take the caliper off. If you want, you can use a screwdriver or something to lever it out, but we should be okay. There we go. And we can have a look at our pads. So actually they still have something left on them, but we don't wait till the last moment. So now we are going to remove the disc as well. There is a T30 little screw. It's there just to hold the disc in its place while it's in servicing position, because normally disc is held by big bolts that hold the wheel. So we take T30 and we're gonna remove it. When you push the Torx bit in, make sure it sits in properly strong. I'm gonna hold it with my right. It shouldn't be too bad. What can be bad is the fact that this disc was probably from the factory here. It's the first time we're gonna ever to replace it. So it gets very friendly with the hub. So we need to give it a few hits with a heavy hammer. We'll see if this bracket will be in the way to remove it and put it in. If it is, then we'll remove the bracket. There are two bolts on the back that hold it, but if not, we'll just remove it like that. As you hit, try not to damage this cover too much, because this is like a dust cover. And maybe try to move it aside a little. There we go. Now it's off. As you can see, we don't need to remove the bracket. If you do need to remove the bracket, there are two bolts at the back. They are inner spline bolts, so you need the spline bit that goes inside. So they are quite clever, but we don't need to do it. As you can see, this disc is worn out a bit, so edge is sticking out, this is sticking out, so this disc needs to be replaced. Now we can take a brush and clean off all the residues from the previous. Take a metal brush on a metal, and we can clean off the caliper as well. Try not to breathe as you do it, because this is all dust from brake pads. Now we can do something that not many mechanics do because they want to save time. You can remove these pins. There is like a rubber sleeve. This pin needs to be able to go in and out as the caliper squeezes your brake pads. We apply some silicone grease on that. Clean it and apply new one. I would not recommend to apply copper grease on this because as copper grease wears out, it can get sticky, and when it's sticky, it's not good. It has to be able to move freely. So we do these pins. Make sure it's lubricated and make sure the sleeve pops over the edge here. So now it's all happy. Now we can take some copper grease that also holds temperature, and we can apply some of the little bit of grease here. Make sure nothing gets on the braking surfaces as we put the disc, but for now we put some grease here. So next time we take the disc off, it doesn't get so sticky. Next thing we need to do is to push this piston back in, because new disc and new pads, they are thicker and need to be able to fit in here. So there are a few ways you can buy this tool. There is tool that's sold separately, like this. What I found with this particular tool, if you see it on your halfers, sometimes it just doesn't really fit. Well, this time it fits, but last time I replaced pads, it didn't want to fit. Now you see it's still maybe with a bit of squeeze, it's a little bit too thick. So I recommend this tool. I'll leave the link in for eBay. This one has way smaller thickness. Before we push piston back in, we want to release this cap for the brake fluid and put some paper here in case if it overflows, because as we push it in, the brake fluid comes back in. Unless you topped it up, it shouldn't go over the top, but just in case, we'll put it in like this. Unlike the front calipers where you just push the piston back in, or electronic parking brake calipers where it's rewinded electronically, but this one, because of the way it works, there's like a thread inside. When you push your handbrake up, you not only you need to push the piston back in, but it needs to be turned. So these two pins, they go into two grooves here, as you can see, 1 and 2. So you push it and turn it clockwise. Both sides they go clockwise, left and right. Start turning. As you can see, the piston is turning as well. As we turn, as a little hack, you can put it back so it stays there, and then you turn it. You turn it as far as it goes. Eventually it will stop turning. You'll feel it. So once it's stopped, that means it's rewinded all the way back. As you can see, this sleeve lid has twisted a little bit, so we're gonna turn it back a little, make sure we find those grooves. So we're gonna turn it back, see, so this sleeve straightens up, everything in its place, and now the piston is all the way in, and we can fit new disc and new pads. Now we take our old disc and compare it to the new one, make sure it's the same size. And I don't want you to do same mistake as I did, because we have another one, my unsuccessful attempt. I messed it up a little bit, so I don't think I can return it, because it was booked over internet anyway. Everything is the same. So diameter of these, by the way, is 253 millimeters. This one came as 255, but I ignored it. Sometimes they can differ for 1 mil in radius, but it's not what I'm trying to say. What I'm trying to say, compare it. As you can see, one is nearly centimeters higher than another. It just goes over the top. As you can see, this height is different, so make sure you get the right disc. Make sure you get the disc exactly for your vehicle. As you can see, these ones, they are the same, and they are the same in the diameter. Another thing about the discs, sometimes they come in a box just like this. They coated. That's how they describe. I'm not sure if it says anywhere here. Basically, they covered with a bit of paint that prevents them from rusting, because when disc is exposed to any water, moisture, it gets rusty. So that's why when you see cars standing under the rain for too long, their discs get rusty. Nevertheless, what I'm trying to say, sometimes they, instead of being coated, they come in a bag and they covered in oil that prevents them from rusting. So you can use something like a brake cleaner that's sold in car parts shops, not expensive, and you can always spray a bit, and that will get rid of oil, all possible oil in there. This one doesn't really need cleaning, so I will just fit it like that. So find your little hole for the screw that holds the disc. I put it upside so we can allocate it. And luckily with these types of brakes, you don't really need to remove the bracket. So make sure the holes are aligned. Now then we tighten this up. You don't need to go too crazy. I'm gonna hold it with my knee, because I'm trying to multitask here, so it doesn't have to be too crazy. It's just here to hold the disc in its place while wheel is off. Now we take our new pads and put them in place. Simple as that. With the springs up like this. Good news, I found a good use for the unused brake disc. That is the wrong size. It can hold my phone now while I'm fitting the caliper back on. These brake pads normally come with the new little bolts as well. They're 13mm and they have some thread lock on them, so you can reuse old ones. There's nothing too wrong about it, so should be okay. Now we take our rewinded caliper, make sure springs are up and straight so they don't stick out from any different holes, and just put it over and give it a good press, because springs are pushing back a little, and tighten them up. Pretty much opposite of what you did when you took it off. They don't need to be too tight. I think it's just something over 20 Newton meters. I do it by hand. Once it's tight, you don't really need to counter hold, so you can just, there we go, nice and tight. They have thread lock on them anyway, so as long as you're happy with it, it should be okay. So now what you do the same on the other wheel. Check your brake fluid and extension tank reservoir, so make sure nothing's leaking there. If it's overflown, clean up, close it. Before you go anywhere with this, because your piston is all the way back, before you drive, start the car, press the brake pedal a few times. It probably will go all the way in, because it will push fluid to fill up the piston that you pushed back, and make sure it's nice and tight firmly, and then for the first 40, 50, 60, 80, 100,000, first 78 miles, make sure you keep good distance. Make your braking distance might be slightly longer because they need to rub in. It will take the coating off on the first few brakes, and that's it. Thank you for watching. More stuff, Wheels and Motors website and channel. Cheers.